Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Memphis Conservative channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Then hit that like button and share this video and comment down below. So, shout out to the data caller for this one. So, what do we have here today? Trump's ploy to blow off Congress over Iran war not playing well with legal scholars. Those of you who don't know what the word ploy means, calculated move, outsmarted someone else to their advantage. So without further ado, let's get into this. It's quite a bit of reading in this. Up early this morning to entertain you. Been up since about 3 or 4. Just gonna go back to sleep. So I thought I'd bring y'all guys a couple of videos. Oh yeah, y'all like my mug? Alien mug. Look at that. The handle is his tail. You know, his tail was long. I love this movie. I'm an early 80s baby. I love the Alien movie. So, President Donald Trump told lawmakers in a Friday letter that the Iran war had been terminated as the 60th day deadline to obtain approval from Congress passed, prompting legal analysts to raise questions. Trump's letter to Congress comes shortly after Secretary of War Pete Hegseth said the ongoing ceasefire in Iran could reset the timeline for congressional approval. The hostilities that began on February 28, 2026 have terminated, Trump stated in the letter addressed to Congress, obtained by Politico. Legal experts have pushed back on the claim that a ceasefire would reset the war powers timeline. The issue is whether the United States is still using the U.S. armed forces in connection with the conflict. Grady Bradley, a University of Chicago law professor and scholar of constitutional war powers, told the Daily Caller News Foundation, given that the U.S. military is imposing a blockade on the Strait of Hormuz, it seems to me that armed forces are still being used in the conflict. Well, that the armed forces are still used in the conflict, Brady stated. The fact that the United States has paused its bombing does not mean that the conflict has ended, adding that he is unaware of any precedent in support of the claim that a temporary ceasefire pauses the war powers resolution clock. Bradley did note that previous administrations have advanced similar arguments. He pointed to Libya during the Obama administration, where the U.S. was engaged in bombing operations over 60 days, arguing they were not engaging in hostilities under the War Powers Resolution. See, that's the thing. When a lot of people, because I had somebody on my Facebook page, somebody did something kidding to me, and he said, "Well, ain't nobody mad at your boy like that, but he's just doing stuff without Congress approval." And I didn't even respond to it because it just let me know how much people like you really know about, this right here, what's going on. You're only going about what CNN and the mainstream media is telling you. There was just such an argument about him doing stuff without Congress approval. The thing is, Obama did a whole lot of stuff and he didn't ask Congress approval for nothing. He had 562 drone strikes by himself. He didn't ask Congress approval. He was the one that went over there, take Bin Laden out. He didn't ask Congress approval. Let's fast forward to Biden. Biden knocked off the leader of Al-Qaeda. He didn't ask Congress approval. One of these presidents wouldn't ask Congress approval on nothing. No, Obama didn't. Because everybody thought when Obama came in, he was finna stop the war, bring everybody home. Somehow we ended up from Iraq over to Afghanistan and stuff. That war had been started up on the Bush son. That war been going on for what, 20 years? Nobody asked when. I mean, that's 20 years. If I'm not mistaken, I mean, I'm not the smartest math person in the world, but if I'm not mistaken, last I checked, 20 years is way more than 60 days. They didn't ask Congress approval on nothing after 60 days. But it's just so keen that when this man right here gets in there, he got to have Congress approval. But see, he knew, I mean, there was a calculated move. The 60th day was coming up. Hey, it's ended. But that don't mean it can start back up. They like you said, like resets the clock. They got questions or whatever about, well, does that reset the clock? See, they ain't never been in nothing like this before. You ain't never had nobody like Trump come up here before like this. This man know the Constitution better than they do. That's what they don't like. That man know the Constitution like the back of his hand. He know it better than they do. And then, you know, as far as the voters that don't like him, he's still always 2 steps ahead. Because a lot of voters that talk crap about him, y'all don't even know the Constitution. I mean, a lot of stuff in the Constitution yourself. I don't know the whole entire Constitution thing and, you know, and stuff like that, but I do know certain things, quite a bit of certain things. People that I normally talk to on a regular basis, I know more than they do. So, what was I? Okay. We are in a ceasefire right now, which our understanding means the 60-day clock pauses or stops in a ceasefire. Hegseth said during a Senate Armed Service Committee hearing Thursday. At the onset of the war, the administration did not seek prior congressional authorization, but instead relied on the presidential powers as commander-in-chief under Article 2 of the Constitution and the War Powers Resolution. The resolution, first adopted in 1973, requires the president to notify Congress within 48 hours of introducing U.S. forces into hostilities. It also generally requires the withdrawal of those forces within 60 days unless Congress authorizes the action, with the possibility of 30-day extension. Congress enacted the measure after overriding President Richard Nixon's veto. So, know what that mean? So, when he did it, when he first went out to Iran, that was like what, last year with the bunker busters and all of that. But that's when all this right here, he didn't get Congress approval. That's when all this right here started. When that first came up. He notified Congress within 48 hours. So I can go do something, but before that 48 hour roll around, I gotta let you know, hey, I did this right here. About 15 hours ago. On introducing the U.S. forces into hostilities. And it says withdrawal of those forces within 60 days unless Congress authorize the action. So the 60-day hit, he said, hey, go with it. I ain't got to talk to y'all. But it can start back up about 2 weeks if I want to. That resets the clock. Then I got another 60 days. I mean, but that's what, like you said, that's what in Article 2 it says. Like I said, the man know the Constitution better than they dumbass do. The bill does not explicitly address whether a pause in hostilities or a ceasefire resets the 60-day clock, leaving it open to interpretation and setting up a broader debate over the powers of the commander-in-chief. See, they ain't never been in nothing like this. Now they scratching their head like, hey, man, can this guy do this? It didn't even say this right here, so and so and so. See, they ain't never ran up on nobody like Trump before. They weren't expecting this. Hell, I wasn't expecting a guy like Trump to be in the office. Just period. So now they're scratching their heads and now they don't know what to do. But, they can't just make up nothing and throw in there. They just going by what it says. Now, it did say nothing about, hey, does it, it doesn't reset. They don't mean it can reset the clock. Well, we don't know that. It's not particularly in there. But so you can't say that it doesn't mean that if it's not in there. It's never been. As you know, most people consider it the War Powers Act totally unconstitutional. Trump told reporters Friday when asked about whether plans to ask Congress for approval, and also we had a ceasefire, so that gives you additional time. Well, you know they did have a ceasefire. The DCNF asked the Department of War whether it believes a ceasefire resets the war powers clock, and if so, what legal basis supports that interpretation. Well, I don't even have a legal basis to support the interpretation that it doesn't reset the clock. The Department of War referred the DCNF to the White House for comment. The White House responded to the DCNF, pointing to the newly released letter to Congress. We have serious constitutional concerns, and we don't want to layer them with additional statutory concerns. Democratic Virginia Senator Tim Kaine stated during the Senate Armed Service Committee hearing on Thursday. Okay, we have serious constitutional concerns. Now you have serious constitutional concerns. Let's see. What was your serious constitutional concerns up under the Biden administration for 4 years for our borders being wide open and in and everybody and their mammy came over here illegally? What was your constitutional concerns then? Nobody, none of y'all stepped up and said, "Hey, sir, Mr. Biden, President Biden, I don't mean no harm, man, but why our borders wide open like this? You know we can't do this, right?" But then a lot of people at that time, man, forgot that, hey, Kamala was the border czar. Then when that came up, CNN, a lot of them folks, I on the president, them, a lot of them folks was trying to defend her. He didn't say he was the border czar. Then somebody resurfaced the video clip of Biden saying it. He said, "I'm going to make her my border czar." Like I said, we have serious constitutional concerns. You didn't have it, like I said, you didn't have it. You didn't have it when them borders was wide open. You didn't have it then. Your constitutional concerns then. You didn't have it. But now you got it. Got it. Tess Bridgman, a former National Security Council lawyer and co-editor-in-chief of Just Security, told the DCNF that the administration's comment is not credible. Okay. Further noting that the United States remains engaged in military operations that clearly constitute hostilities, even under the executive branch's elastic definition. So now y'all got all this expertise on the executive branches and all of that stuff and the Constitution and stuff now. Like I said, you had none of this stuff up on the Biden. Bridgman also noted that, let me see. Yeah, Bridgman also noted that while the War Powers Resolution does not explicitly define hostilities, its legislative history suggested that Congress intended for them to be broader, not narrower than a state of armed conflict. She further added that the current situation is not a close call, arguing that ongoing U.S. military activity and the continued risk to American forces mean hostilities are still underway, even under the executive branch's interpretation of the law. So they're basically saying you don't know the definition of hostilities. Okay. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson seemed to defend Hegseth's comments. "I don't think we have an active kinetic military bombing, firing, or anything like that. Right now, we are trying to broker a peace," Johnson told NBC News on Thursday, further adding, "We are not at war." Yeah, it's a conflict. It's not a war. So they really don't like that Trump is always the man. I'm talking about since even the man in his first term. But Trump has always been 2 steps ahead. This man is playing chess, and y'all are still playing checkers. So I mean, you can't get mad at me. I mean, the man just got the knowledge of it. He's got the knowledge of the whole entire Constitution, man, in and out. Cause he bring out stuff, man, that a couple of things here and there as far as that's in our American Constitution that I didn't even know about. And I had to look some of that stuff up myself. I'm like, no, I ain't know about that. Like the doctrine, like the Monroe Doctrine and stuff like that. Um, I didn't. If I didn't. I'm honestly saying I didn't know about that right there first. But this man right here, man, he's always 2 steps ahead of these folks. Like I said, it just Trump's ploy to blow out Congress. He's like, hey, man, it's 60 days, man. I ain't got to talk to y'all. And these folks here don't act right. And I started back up 2 weeks. I got another 60-day clock. I ain't got to talk to y'all. This man is a genius, man. I mean, I just get credit, man, what credit due. I'm just being honest with you. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I can. The only thing that I liked about Obama, even though I didn't vote for him once or twice, that I did like about it because he was hard on deporting illegals. He was. So that's the only thing I can rock with him on. But see, I didn't like it even though I didn't vote for him, I was like, when he came out and said, man, what he said, I said, well, I ain't vote for you though anyway, but that is messed up though what you said. It's like, okay, when he said he was up there on stage on the podium or something I was watching, and he said, now keep in mind, Al Sharpton and them, and at that time, Jesse Jackson and them was up there standing next to him or behind. I mean, not next to him, but like behind him or whatever. They was up there, and when he said, my brothers, my black brothers, we need to do better when it comes to paying our child support. We are the worst race of people when it comes to paying our child support. And Al Sharpton, they was up there and sat and let that man tell that lie like that. If anything, you look up the numbers, we are the most paying in child support. Even Judge O'Brien has said that. And Judge O'Brien, as a matter of fact, speaking of him, he said about a couple of weeks before that, him and I was Al Sharpton and Judge Jackson, they had sat down and they was on the subject and they was going over there and they saw that. We are the most paying. I mean, I was like, this man really just said that and nobody stopped him? Like, hold on, sir, that's not correct. You're wrong on that part. Nobody stopped him. And don't get me wrong, I ain't got nothing, man, against women at all. Then I remember him saying something about when he said black women are the backbone of the black community. Don't have nothing against women at all. Well, there's so much the backbone, majority of them, I mean, I'm not saying all of them, but anyway, but there's so much the backbone. Why are the young ones out here just, breaking folk cars and walking around here with sticks, aka assault rifles and all that right there, shooting up places out in public and all of that. They raising them. That's what's going on here, man, in Memphis. But see, they won't call out the actual problem, the actual issue. And I'm just being real. I'm being honest about that. Not saying all, but a great deal of them. That's what's going on. But that's the way they got to set up. Let them use all these kind of tools to keep the real deal fathers out of their lives anyway, out the kids' lives anyway. But that's another conversation we can have, and I don't mind having it. But this guy right here, well, he's something else with himself. He can't do nothing with him. But I support a great deal of a lot of things he does. I didn't say everything, but a great deal of a lot of things he does. I support. That's what I'd be like, yeah, I voted for that. Or, whatever the, case may be. I'd be like, oh no, I don't agree with that one, man. But anyway, thanks for stopping by the Memphis Conservative channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to hit that like button and share this video and comment down below. I'd like to know y'all thoughts. Peace.